This is the Valley Today.
We start with breaking news. One man is dead and a woman is hurt from the storms that blew through overnight. The Douglas County Sheriff's Department says they were called to a camper around midnight near Alexandria, Minnesota, for a report of a tree on the camper. A caller said the tree crashed onto the camper during those storms. The woman was taken to the hospital. Her condition is unknown this morning. That man was pronounced dead at the scene. Powerful winds set back one homeowner's dream for the time being. Winds brought down the structure of a second floor in Horace. You'll see it there at the top of your screen. That wood structure, the second floor of it. In just a few seconds, you'll see that wind completely take those 2x4s and topple them over. It's reportedly sent pieces of wood flying down the street. And the work continues for crews in Hawley, Minnesota today. Plenty of downed trees were seen in neighborhoods like this one right here along 5th Street. Cranes had to be brought in so workers were able to cut down those branches. The house that you see involving those trees did suffer some roof damage.
I was looking out my front window and I saw it fall down, and it was just crazy. I was like, that whole tree just fell down. And then we saw that it was on top of the person's house. We didn't know how much damage it had.
Crews will continue to clean up the debris this morning from those storms, and many across the valley have major cleanup after those storms that ripped through our area overnight as well. The Valley Today's JC Dodd, she joins us live with what people are waking up to in a certain part of the valley. JC, where are you right now and what are you seeing out there?
Jordan, we are just south of Fargo. We drove south on I-29 and we have found some major damage. Now this is just south of Horace. If you're familiar with where Memory Fireworks and Star Fireworks are, we are just a little bit south on that road. And I want to show you an uprooted tree right here in this backyard of a house. This is just south of those fireworks stands. You can see this is an uprooted tree here in the backyard past that fence. Now Jordan, this is just the beginning of the damage that this house has sustained. So I'm going to walk you through. We're walking around this road. We're staying out of the ways of cars. I promise we're being safe out here. But I want to now show you their garage. I just spoke with a neighbor who says the garage did not look like this yesterday before yesterday's storms, and this is what they're left with waking up to this morning. They say it rolled through around 6:30 last night. She looked out the window and everything was completely gray. She could not see across the street. This is just across St. Benedict Church, again, south of Horace. You can see still some damage. That car is still parked in that garage and it's missing a whole wall right there. A lot of roof damage. Now I spoke to the neighbor that lives here. She says this house is the one that took the brunt of the damage for these houses along this road. So this is clearly where most of the damage is. A lot of shingles are off. Now she says they lost 2 windows from the wind. The wind busted out 2 windows. And again, they were up last night. They lost power and were cutting down trees trying to reopen the road. So a lot of damage here in Horace, and there's someone walking out right now as well. So a lot of damage. We're going to continue talking to these people as they wake up to a lot of damage here in south of Fargo.
Yeah, major cleanup there. You're right, there was just nothing left of that garage. Hopefully no one was hurt in that incident. JC Dodd reporting in Horace this morning. Thank you. And giving us an overview of the storms that blew through, plus what we can expect today, meteorologist Lisa Green. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. A lot of people saw this kind of image. JC mentioned that gray, that wall of gray. Well, this is a shelf cloud blasting through the Goodridge area. Kenzie sent this to us from the evening storms last night. And this is an indication you've got some strong winds with it. And unfortunately, we're seeing more damage pictures come in. This is a vehicle that ended up with an AC unit on top of it. Brad said that the unit was ripped off the wall of the building and then it landed on the vehicle and you could see the windshield just shattered. So again, a reminder, not safe to be in vehicles during severe thunderstorms. You want to find a sturdy structure. He did not specify where this was, but certainly some damage somewhere here in the valley where we saw that. And we'll hopefully get some more information from him throughout the morning. But each one of these icons here on our storm reports map indicates a report that has come through the National Weather Service, and we likely have many more areas that have been dealing with that too. Now, there are areas of rain still out there, but we want to just kind of move through what happened last night here. You can see there's been 2 rounds of that affect us here. And the first one, of course, came through in the afternoon and evening hours. We'll restart this loop. And so heading into the late afternoon and evening, we saw those storms fire up, one that blasted through Fargo, one in northwest Minnesota. And then there's that next round, that late night round that moved through Lakes Country. Some places in Lakes Country ended up with a couple of rounds of severe weather yesterday. Now it's quieting down. We do have a little bit of lightning and thunder north of the border and some showers there. And one little cell I'm noticing popping up into Polk County. Overall, though, the threat for severe weather is done, but we're still tracking a couple of areas that will have to watch out for some rain. This is northeastern parts of Pembina County, the town of Pembina being impacted by some rain. The sun is rising over some clouds here in Fargo this morning. We've got temperatures that are so much more comfortable. It's 59 degrees in Jamestown. Fargo's at 63. The forecast for today. Now, again, there may be a couple of places that see some rain, especially north, closer to that low that's going to move through. If you're in the Southern Valley like Fargo, we'll have some sunshine, perhaps a few clouds mixed in there, but overall everybody experiencing temperatures that aren't nearly as intense as they were, 70s to some low 80s. The wind, though, that's going to be with us today. We're looking at winds out of the west gusting into the 20s, then the 30s, up to about 40 miles per hour this afternoon. So a break from the heat, but it doesn't last. We know that here in the valley, there's always another round coming our way. We're going to talk more about that in our next chance for rain, too, coming up.
Okay, a lot of things to go over. Lisa, thank you this morning. Officials say it was the extreme heat over the past several days that led to more than 2,000 customers without power. But despite the continued heat wave, they say that it should not happen again for that reason. Valley News Team's Bailey Hurley talked with Cass County Electric about what led to that outage and how they're keeping your AC on now.
Despite the weekend forecast of extreme heat and wind, Cass County Electric says it wasn't worried about having any outages.
Usually we don't see issues with loading on weekends, even when it's hot, even when it's really cold, but it seemed like everything started coming on around the same time.
Bollinger says while customers in the Cheyenne Street area were only without power for around 30 minutes due to a blown fuse, about 1,000 people living near Davies High School had to beat the heat for longer as crews from around the metro came to help not only fix the problem, but make sure it didn't happen again.
Just like if you plug in too many things into an outlet, you might have a fuse or breaker go, and that's kind of what happened.
Bollinger says their system in that area had an upgrade plan to be put in place later this month, moved around due to our late spring and weeks of flooding. However, she says once crews were out there, they extended the outage and upgraded the system right then and there.
So we wouldn't have this problem today or in the future.
She says the upgrade increased the system's capacity, meaning more people can blast their AC at the same time. And Bollinger says there aren't any other areas in need of an upgrade right now and assures the problem is unlikely to happen again. In Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Xcel Energy says it has not had any issues with power outages across the tri-state area, saying while crews are keeping a very watchful eye on the systems as that demand skyrockets during hot days, officials say as of now everything should still be working. And this morning, hundreds of people are with power once again. Cass County Electric says that crews were able to get power back on to more than 800 customers by 1:15 this morning. Those outages were reported by Oxbow, Hickson, Colfax, and Kindred. Now the co-op says those outages were actually caused by the weather from downed transmission poles from those thunderstorms. People in the small town of St. Thomas, North Dakota are angry over plans to demolish this building. That is their old K-12 school in the town. The St. Thomas school had been closed since last year. At a recent Grafton School Board meeting, leaders decided that the school should be demolished.
It's very sad to see it go down. We have a lot of family that's, have gone there and their fathers and their grandfathers. So that's disappointing.
The demolition of that school is set for next month. This morning, the Fargo School Board will be holding a discharge hearing for an English teacher accused of having inappropriate behavior with students. Students say that Kevin Kennedy made inappropriate comments and that he is overly interested in relationships between the students. They also reported that he would touch them without permission. Kennedy is also an instructor at Trollwood Performing Arts School. Trollwood says his participation in the program will be decided after that hearing today. One woman has been arrested after a casual tube down the Mississippi River. took a violent turn in northern Minnesota. The Beltrami County Sheriff's Office says that dozens of people were tubing down the Mississippi River when a fight broke out. Officials say 20-year-old Aaliyah Goodman stabbed 21-year-old in the arm, who had later had to be taken to the hospital for treatment. Goodman was arrested and booked into the Beltrami County Jail for second-degree assault and minor consumption. A Pelican Rapids man has died after jumping into Lake Lida to try and save his dog. The Otter Tail County Sheriff's Office says that this weekend, 48-year-old Eric Fife was boating with friends when he jumped off the boat. Fife appeared to be in distress and was struggling to stay above water. Deputies say a friend then pulled him and the dog out of the water and started CPR until first responders arrived. However, Fife died at the scene. An incident involving a pontoon on Gull Lake forced a woman to be airlifted to a Twin Cities hospital. The Cass County Sheriff's Office says there was a mechanical failure while trying to dock a pontoon, and then it accelerated into the dock. A 37-year-old woman then sat down and put her feet out to try and stop the pontoon from hitting it, but it kept going, and her legs then got pinned between the dock and the pontoon. Her condition at the hospital is unknown at this time. We are starting out with some more seasonal temperatures this Tuesday morning, and we are seeing that sunrise. We're going to see a lot of sun today because it's the summer solstice out there. Lisa Green will let us know how much longer our more normal summertime temperatures will stick around.